Go ahead. Thank you, Luna. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Reiki Studios. Meet the panelists. My name is Kathy Milanowski. I'm your moderator and your host for today. Twice a month, we offer this live on Reiki Studio. Reiki Studio is a group about empowering your life journey, whatever it may be. So this month we've been working on crystal connections, our connections with crystals, and we actually did a series on series 5 2 weeks ago, and we kind of just went into a little bit of information on crystals. And this series is a little exciting to me and special because we're going in depth with crystals and the connections of them. And so today we're going to go and talk to Lynn Frey first. And she's going to be talking about, she's going to offer us a crystal bowl meditation and also information about the crystal bowls. Hello, Luna.
Hello. Yes, my name is Lynn Frey, and I am a sacred sound oracle. I own a store in Madison, Wisconsin called Cosmic Delights, and I'm really excited to show you a little bit about the crystal singing bowls because they are my heart, they are my passion, and they are what opened all of this realm of healing and spirit and all this goodness up to me many years ago. So I'm very excited to share it with you. And I have a lot to talk about and to share. We only have a little bit of time, but first I'd like to open up with a meditation and experience first. So if you could just find a comfortable space, kind of get comfy in your chair and make sure that your feet are flatly on the ground. Maybe close your eyes, take a deep breath. And if you can, I invite you to breathe in through your nose, hold for just a moment, and then out through the mouth. Just kind of centering yourself in your space. And at some point during this meditation, I'm going to ask you to bring to your mind an image that brings you to unconditional love. For some people, this may be God, it may be spirit, it may be nature, it might be a loved one or a pet. So in the next moment, just kind of think about what it is. What is your image that brings you to that space? And begin to imagine that there's a tube of white light, a hollow tube that surrounds you, just wider than the width of your body. And you sit within this straw, this tube. And this straw that you sit within goes all the way around you. And as you look down, you notice that it goes through the layers of the floor, all the way down through the layers of your house until it hits the earth. And it continues down, digging down, 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 deep, until it hits the center of the earth, the heart of the mother, plugging right into that heart. And you notice that it also comes all the way back up. You see it surrounding you in your room, in your space. And you notice it goes up through the ceiling, through the sky, through space, until it plugs into the sun, the heart of the Father. And this acts as a straw, and you may pull both energies, the earth and the sun, in with your breath. So on your next breath, I want you to breathe in, focusing, pulling that energy from both directions into your heart chakra. Hold that breath for just a moment, qualify it with unconditional love, and exhale, visualizing it shooting out of your heart, creating a sphere around you, your own love hologram. And we do it together. So we inhale, breathing in from the sun and the earth into our heart, breathing in. Hold, qualify that breath, and exhale out your heart. Breathing in again. Qualify and exhale. And again from both directions into the heart. Hold, qualify, exhale. And taking in a few more breaths in your own speed and your own cadence. With each breath, you notice the sphere around you grows brighter and brighter and vibrates more its own unique frequency. The connection of the heart of the mother, your own heart, and the heart of the Father are a holy trinity love vibration that is yours and uniquely your own. And one last breath together, breathing in from both directions into the heart. Hold, qualify, and exhale. And when you're ready, you can rub your hands together, bringing yourself back into your space, and open your eyes. And so when I'm doing my sound oracle work, I always open with this meditation because it helps to connect us into ourself and our authentic being. And so when I heard crystal singing bowls for the first time, 15 years ago at this point, it woke me up. It shook off all of the doubt. It opened me up to my higher self, and it really did a lot of work very quickly. And I had to know more. What was this? How did one sound that was emitted do this for me? How did this work? And so I started gathering information, and it awoke a sacred practice that I've done for many lifetimes. And I studied more and got into sound healing. And it was really a wonderful thing for me. And so I hope that if you even liked the bowls a little bit, that you explore it more. You're not getting the full depth of the sound that you would in person. My microphone kind of makes it a little flat, but I hope you felt something. So crystal singing bowls are made of 99.9% pure crushed crystal that they heat to approximately 4,000 degrees to create in a centrifuge mold. The bowls emit a powerful pure resonance. The thickness of the bowl and the diameter is what creates the specific vibrational frequency. So you can find bowls that have been created for all different tones. There are different tones that correlate to different chakras. However, being made of quartz crystal, they can help with really any issue that you're working with, and they can work with any chakra, but they can be attuned to a specific chakra. And clear quartz is possibly the most versatile, multi-purpose, powerful healing stone available due to its unique helix spiral crystalline form. It is known as the master healer, and it has been used for any and all conditions. It stimulates the immune system, it resonates body, balance, restores, and amplifies energy systems. So when the bowl is played, at the same time the sound is doing the sacred work, the crystal is also doing its sacred work. So just like when you're working with any stones, you really want to take time to make sure they're cleansed. You want to program them, have an intention that you're working with, because it will amplify and send out whatever your intentions are. So you want to make sure that you're in sacred space and you're using it with purpose. I really prefer crystal bowls to metal bowls, as we have a more similar chemistry in our body with quartz crystal than we do to metal. And I've also found that they are more user-friendly. Anybody can pick up a mallet and a bowl, tap it, and play. And most of the bowls that you'll find on the market are the frosted crystal bowls. If it's your first bowl that you're working with, I highly recommend you start with a frosted bowl because they are the most user-friendly. They have a sand texture on the outside, and the friction makes them very easy to play quickly. If you've ever experimented with metal bowls in a shop, you may have struggled to get it to play. With quartz crystal, you're not going to have that problem if you grab a frosted bowl. So many people have studied bowls and have used them in their practice. There was in particular a doctor by the name of Dr. Mitchell Gaynor, a medical doctor who specialized in cancer treatment in New York City. And he found that using crystal bowls, chanting, and meditative practices assisted his clients to come to a marked recovery much more quickly than those that chose not to. And there are many other studies you can look up that it helps people heal very quickly. And it does this partially through bringing your brain to a theta brainwave state very quickly. And that is why many people use crystal bowls to get into a relaxed state or a meditation, because it can shift your brainwaves really quickly. Many healers and psychics use them to channel because it can bring you to that brainwave state really quickly. And quartz can help vibrate our bones and bring us into a channeling state as well. They're also used for sound healing, also known as sound therapy. And that has been practiced. Sound healing has been practiced since ancient times with drums and rattles. It's an innate practice that we're all drawn to use sound and vibration to heal ourselves. We are all made of vibration. Every cell in our body vibrates. And when these vibrations get out of sync and out of alignment, that's when we fall into disease. So we can use pure tone and sounds to help shift us and bring us back to a place of ease. And they also bring us to a relaxed state really quickly and pull our bodies out of the stress response, which helps us heal more quickly as well. One thing that I wanted to talk about is there are many myths about singing bowls in general. Many people believe that metal singing bowls came from Tibet. You've heard the words Tibetan singing bowls, I'm sure. And singing bowls actually have not come from Tibet, as most people believe. They potentially come from India, we think, or Nepal. They were not originally created for singing bowls. They were offering bowls or sacred food bowls. And it wasn't actually until the 70s that a pair of musicians came back from the India region. Their names are Nancy Henning and Henry Wolf, and they had a bunch of albums called the Tibetan Bells. And that is the first recorded history of people using bowls for sound practice and healing and meditation. And those were metal bowls. It wasn't until the 1980s from a computer company actually producing microchips that crystal bowls were created, and they were created to grow microchips inside them, and someone found that they made sound. And so then they were brought to the new age market. And I like to lead with this because I think a lot of people think that just because bowls aren't ancient, that they aren't sacred, but I find the way that they were born into the world all the more sacred in the way that they've kind of mysteriously just arrived. And I think they're very powerful. And I think in the future, they will be looked at as ancient healing tools that were created in the now that we're living. So I think it's really special that we get to live in the time frame when these wonderful healing tools were created. And yes, I think they're wonderful. There are many different types of bowls that you can get. There are ones made of quartz crystal. There are ones that are made of clear quartz crystal. You can get them with all kinds of different gemstone. The price does go up significantly once you add other gemstones. I personally am partial to more of the quartz bowls. But you can get all kinds of different gemstones added in. There are also some that are dyed different colors, and those are more affordable, and they vibrate more the chakra frequency that the color is attuned to. And as you can see on this one, you can get them with sacred images imprinted on them and all kinds of different ones. So I hope if you're at all interested in the bowls that you take a little time to do some research and treat yourself to one, because you won't be disappointed.
Thank you so much, Luna. Hope said that, Hope Susanna said, I definitely felt the resonance of the crystal bowls. It was very clear. I have a practitioner's crystal singing bowl, the kind with the handle on it. And to hear the chakra. That's what she was talking about. So she really enjoyed it. So, awesome. Yeah, there's a little delay. If there is any questions, we'll go at the end of the time and I'll let you know. Okay. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Love your work. Love it.
Thank you.
Next, you're very well. Thank you. Next is Jay Jackson, and he is going to be talking about cosmic realms of crystal consciousness. So, Jay, I'm going to let you have the floor, and thank you.
You're not going to let me have your crystals, just the floor?
No, I get my crystals. Fine.
I loved your presentation, Luna, because crystal bowls have a significant meaning to me, and I wholly agree with everything you said. So it was awesome. For those of you who have ever heard me talk about anything energetic, you know that crystals have just been a huge part of my life and have helped form my whole energetic healing path. And so I was fortunate to have been raised in a very earthy community, little teeny tiny community where, you know, we could roam the neighborhood and go down to the riverbank and pick up rocks. And my dad worked for the Forest Service, and so he would bring home rocks from out in the middle of the forest where he was working, and we had Apache teardrops and obsidian, and he had a giant rock saw, and we would collect big agate geodes and slice them, and so so we had lots of rocks and stuff, and it was always fun to play with them as a kid. And then later on, my parents and I learned how to facet precious gemstones. And so I was the experiment. And so I learned first, and then my dad learned. And my dad became extremely accomplished at faceting. And I was a master faceter and did that for the family business for quite some time. And that's where my really this cosmic realms started its journey with me. And so when we are taking a rock, so I mean, this is a giant rock compared to something for faceting, but when I'm faceting a stone, I'm looking at how am I going to get the most weight out of that stone? If I'm cutting it here, 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 or, you know, am I going to create a emerald shaped cut out of it, or I'm going to count around? What's going to be the best to get the weight out of it? So I would study the crystal. And so I didn't know at the time I was meditating with the crystal. I was meditating and studying, and because I was looking and looking, I'm looking for any imperfections in the stone. And so I had this one particular experience. I can even remember the exact place where I was sitting in my parents' house at the time when I was sitting here at this counter looking at this stone. I was going, and I had books and books of different designs, and I had settled on this one design. And I was going, oh, yep, this is the design. And we're gonna cut this and this, and it's gonna go here. I'm gonna orient the stone this way. And then I heard this little voice that said, oh, that's wonderful. But what if we do this on the pavilion? What if we add these facets on the pavilion? And I realized it wasn't me thinking this, it was a voice coming from the external. And then I really connected. This was the voice coming from the crystal. So the crystal was giving its input. And so that's when I learned that I could communicate with crystals, and that the crystals could communicate with me, maybe is a better way to say it. And so we had a beautiful project. Cutting that stone was just absolutely beautiful. And so then I started to take into heart the stone's preferences when I was cutting. So, you know, so some people I know will try to alter their experiences in life by taking psychedelic mushrooms and different things like that. Well, I don't need to because I have crystals. So, so cosmic realms is when when we look at especially a quartz crystal or any crystal in itself, like Luna was saying, that they have the very, very specific matrix that makes up the stone. And they also make up very, very specific energy frequencies of our planet. And we have, in my belief, we have very, very special spiritual beings who help create these wonderful, wonderful tools in our earth. And they were made for specific purposes. They were made to help center our planet and to help with the vibrational qualities of our planet. Because as we know, quartz is a stone of communication, because we use it for radios. Our very, very first radios were quartz based, and all of our watches have quartz because they vibrate at very, very specific frequencies. That's what creates time. So with quartz, we can manipulate time with quartz, and we can connect to the origins of our universe with quartz. And quartz can also shift into different interplanetary dimensions, and we can connect with those beings that help create these beautiful tools. So I like to, one of the dimensions that I like to work in is the Lamorian dimension. And what I see and what the information I get is just what I've intuitively received and working with the different crystals. So I have tons of Lemurian quartz crystals, and that I resonate with. And for this is an example of one of the ones that I have. And so as a meditation piece, this one has some imperfections. It has some fractures in it. And you can kind of see in there, look, I don't know if you can see all that. If I'm looking at that, those are, I can look at that and I can meditate into that. And it's like going into having an aurora borealis experience, like a northern light experience, because I'm getting all the different rainbow frequencies that are coming through that stone when I'm looking at this. And if I'm just sitting down and having a meditation, I'm taking a journey into the cosmos, clear, and it'll start giving me messages that go beyond our planet, that go beyond into the origins. And it kind of goes into the origins of the purpose of our planet and then our purpose. And the Lemurian energies that I connect with are very, very peaceful and loving energies. And so I love to connect with that. So another meditation piece, one of the most transformative experiences that I ever had was the first time I took, now I'd been studying crystals for years and years and years, and been reading crystal healing books, and had been a Reiki master and been studying, but I finally got the opportunity to go and take a crystal Reiki healing class from Laurel Shantigaya out of Sedona, Arizona. And she is one of the most loving, intuitive beings I have ever met in my life. And while I was preparing for that class, I was working on a crystal cutting project. I was working on some healing projects. In the intermediate class that she was teaching, that I was going to also be taking, because I was taking two classes together, we have a full day on Vogel crystal healings, and Dana will talk a bit more about Vogel crystals. And I was loved to learn more about the Vogel crystals. And so with my fascinating experience, I was working on a Vogel inspired crystal piece. And so I have this little crystal here, and I remember where I picked up this crystal in its raw form. And I worked and worked and worked in cutting this crystal. And now, mind you, this is not a Vogel cut because it doesn't have the female end on it. But I worked and worked and then studied and studied, and I prayed and prayed while I was cutting this. And I was doing energy work on this with this crystal the entire time I was cutting it. So I was in a meditative state, sending it love while I was cutting it. And this beautiful crystal, it actually has a phantom. So you actually have a phantom in the base of it here of the original crystal. And so it just has a very, very special place. Even as a natural crystal, it was a very special crystal to me. So I was being really prepared for that crystal class. So, because I had spent many, many weeks working on this crystal in preparation of going to that class. So this was my first experience going to Sedona. And if anyone had ever been to Sedona, you know it's a very magical place. So because I was already in this heightened state, it was almost hallucinogenic, because I was seeing crystal cities floating around. I had plants singing to me. So we go into those cosmic realms, and we can go into and start to study what our life's purposes are. I was able to receive a lot of inspiration about me and my purpose, and to so what I learned in that crystal healing class was more than just about taking a crystal and doing a crystal healing. I was learning about the energy properties and the pure love of energy in these cosmic realms that we connect to. So all I'm going to talk about today, the one I want you to know about, is that you can go into those cosmic realms using crystals. And the cosmic realms that you go to are going to be unique for you. You're not going to go to the same cosmic realms that I went to. You're going to go to the cosmic realms that are prepared for you. So you have your own specific place, that connections that you're going to go to. I've been, for instance, this is a beautiful piece of selenite. You can connect in this beautiful, you can go into different cosmic realms with going into a selenite. You can go into a cosmic realm looking into aquamarine. I have a beautiful aquamarine here. And aquamarine has its own very unique structural connection, and it will give you different messages as well. So I just want you to work with your crystals, meditate with the crystals, and see what you come up with. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay. Thank you so much. I love your deep connections with crystals since I've known you all the time. He even gave us, when we were in Hawaii with William, he gave us little crystals for our presents. It was beautiful. Thank you, Jay, so very much. Hope said that, thank you, Jay, for explaining the connection between time and crystals and other dimensions, Reiki, etc. so eloquently. I love that crystal. I don't know which one she means, though. Thank you so very much. All right, our next panelists. We're going to, let me remove the pen. There we go. And it is going to be Tanys Rose Coggin, and she's going to talk about crystals, Exlers. So hopefully I said that right.
Crystal waters, yes, thank you. Crystals and water. Awesome. So I'm Tanys Coughlan, and I own a company called Twillo Lifestyle Community in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And so crystals have been part of my spiritual journey too since the beginning. I use them in my healing practice, as well as for personal use and all of that. We also, I do classes on crystal healing and that sort of thing that allows people to be able to use them at home, which is awesome. So one of the things that, we talked last time about how crystals each have their own unique vibration, and that vibration is what creates the healing for people, as well as, Jay, they definitely have their own minds. They tell me which ones to use when and all of that. They are first dimensional beings. We mentioned that last time as well. And so when we tune into them, we know what's right for us for the day. I often have clients ask me, what should I be using? How do I know what to use? I'm like, follow your intuition. They're going to yell at me. I joke about, I come home with a new crystal. My husband's like, you need another crystal. It yelled at me. I had to. It yelled at me. So I agree, Jay. They definitely have a voice. So for crystals, each of them have their own specific vibrational frequency, and water is very programmable. If any of you have seen the study by Masaru Emoto, it was a fascinating study. Take a look at that if you get a chance. And he did some experiments on water, in that he took two forms 2 samples from a polluted dam, and he froze one of them. He took the other one and had it prayed over by monks. And when he froze both of them and compared them, the polluted one was quite almost like a mottled, there was no crystalline structure to it when it froze. Whereas the one that was prayed over, the structure actually changed within it. And it was a beautiful, like snowflake style structure. So it's quite a fascinating study. There's way more to it, but that just gives you an idea. It was quite groundbreaking in that it proved the fact that word and prayer, consciousness can actually create change in water. So as we've said, the crystals have a consciousness of their own, and so they can actually program our water to work with our body to do healing work. So there are a few ways of doing that. So I have set up a couple of examples here. The easiest one, of course, is to just put them in your water. So like, I don't know if you can see that, but I have crystals in the bottom of my water bottle all the time. Around this season, getting into colds and flus, I often have like a moss agate and a carnelian in there for immune support. And so that's one of the examples that I've brought today as well. Now, not all crystals are safe to put directly into your water. And so please be sure that you're looking them up. The ones that have metals in them and all of that, they can't be. Things like selenite, it's gypsum based, and so it will actually start to dissolve in the water, which can be dangerous because it has the little filaments and stuff. So please be sure that you're looking up the crystal before you do actually put it right in your water. So that's called the direct method. The indirect method of creating crystal water or gem water, there's a couple of different ways. So I'm just going to switch my screen here so that you can see what I have. There we are. So one of the ways is to actually, should be a glass container, okay? And you can actually place it in almost a crystal grid. So right here, we're making love water, right? We have rose quartz here, and these guys are directing the energy from the rose quartz right into that jar. Okay, so I would leave that a few hours in order for it to really get going on that. I would also, probably set the intention with the crystals before I set it down into the grid. I might add some energy to each of the ones and energize the grid. You could take a crystal wand, and with a crystal grid, you would connect the center with each of them. With this one, you might connect your crystals to have them working as you're asking them to please energize the water for love. Okay, so that's one way. The other way is to actually get a smaller vessel. Now I've used a little test tube thing here, but you can just use a smaller glass in a large bowl, something like that. And you put the crystals in. This is the elixir that I have in my water bottle most times. It's the carnelian moss agate. And the clear quartz, of course, is master healer. So we just throw that in and it magnifies the effect of the others. All right. So you would just put this right in your water and you'd let it sit for a couple of hours. I've put it in the fridge. You can actually get, so I'm going to switch screens now so that you're actually seeing me, but this is basically how it would work. I don't know if you can see the little bubbles on the side here. It creates bubbles on the side. That's the energy actually working when you're looking at it. So you'll notice if you make gem water that you'll have those little bubbles. That's the energy working in the water to create the change. It's programming it for you. So the other thing, so I thought I would also show you a book that I use. This is a great starter book. This was one that I got when I first started. It's this one here. It's called Gem Water. And I can put the title and the author in the chat with this on Facebook. Okay, but it's Gem Water and it's by Michael Ginger and Joachim Goebel. Okay, and it's full of technique on how to do it as well as recipes and stuff for different purposes. Okay, So I really like that book. Another one that's quite good is this one here, Crystal Therapy. This one's by Doreen Virtue and Judith Lakomsky. Okay, so that would be the way to work with crystals and water. You can make crystal elixirs as well, which is a little bit more in depth in how you do that, and you're adding a slight bit of preservative, using it almost as you would with Bach flower treatments, or I guess they're called treatments, drops. They're drops. And so crystals are awesome to use in water. And if you haven't had a chance to look at that Emoto study, take a look at that as well. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We got a question here. What is your experience working with Shungit, and do you put it directly into water?
I haven't used that one directly in water. No, I do indirect with that one. Although I think it is on the safe list. I'm not sure. You would want to look at that. You would want to look that up. But if I'm ever not sure, I just use the indirect. I use the little test tube because it's safer, and it's still the energy goes right through the glass into the water. So I don't feel the need to take too many chances with that. I would much rather do the safer methods.
Yeah. Hope, that was Chris, and Hope said that she loved the idea that you're giving them for the crystal grids and the little tube and all that stuff. That's really nice. Because even for me, I'm so sensitive to everything, is that I love the crystal grid idea, and with the water and stuff, so it's not direct into my stuff, but love it.
Well, and if you bring in, if you're bringing in that kind of a crystal grid into like your ritual space, right? You've got your earth element with your crystals, you've got your water, because as you're making that, so you're just adding your feather, or incense and a candle to make your altar space complete too. So it's a great way to sort of integrate the two and make your altar space into a working space as well. And it creates sacred water that way.
Beautiful. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome, giving all these things. Thank you so very much. Our next person, we have two more people talking, and Dana Bartlett, she's going to be talking about going a little bit more in depth with Vogel crystals. Last 2 weeks ago, she was talking about them, and now she's going to talk about them with the oils. Thank you, Dana.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Yeah, today we're going to do my favorite things, essential oils and crystals. I love them. We're going to take our Vogel crystal. And last week, y'all, I'm so nervous on here. I messed my words up really bad, but it's piezoelectricity. When I went back and watched it, I was saying it all wrong. Piezo is just piezoelectricity. Tanys, I love the water. I'm all about the water, which is what the crystal is going for, the Vogel crystal at the pure water, 454 hertz. So today I am going to a crystal show. We have one here in Mobile, so I'm all excited. And I'm going to be out in public. There's some crazy people at some crystal shows, so I'm going to put on my white Angelica and protect myself. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. But the main reason, a lot of people, us as healers, we have people that are, like Kathy said, sensitive to things. And some people are allergic to certain kinds of oils. They can't put the oil on their body, or their body rejects them if they try to swallow them. Of course, you don't want to swallow all essential oils. Only the best oils would you want to actually put in your body or on your body. But so when you have a customer that comes to you and just from intuition that this person really needs the oil, but they're allergic to the oil, so how can I help them? Well, of course, you could diffuse the oil. That's going to put it in the air. But you also can take your Vogel crystal, and what you want to do when you do this is you want to take your oil, and of course, you're going to want to, whenever I order my oils come in the mail. You can't buy these oils in the store. I bless each bottle of oil and ask when I use the oil to always go to my best and highest good, highest intentions for the purpose of whatever we're using this oil for, or for whomever I'm using the oil on at a particular time. So, you know, you would just do that with prayer and intention, because the oil, it comes from a live plant. So it is alive. It is, you can put it in the microscope and it's still there. So what we want to do, you're going to want to clear your crystal. You remember how I told you to clear the Vogel crystal with your breath? So mine is 13 sides. So you would want to do 7 trips around the crystal. So you're getting both facets. And you want to go. And you're going to do that all the way around. And then when you take your oil, you're going to put just a little drop, because it's not going to take much. And I personally like to do the oil the way I was taught to do the oil. You always rub it clockwise 3 times. 1, 2, 3, counterclockwise. And that activates the ingredients in the oil. So then what you're going to do is you're going to hold this crystal by your client and you're going to activate it, or you can have your leave my mind goes by. Your client activate it themselves if you want to with their breath, because they're the ones that you're working on. If you like people to mess with your crystals, that's a kind of a, if you want people to touch your crystal or not. So what you would do, I might have to stand up, my chair sits so low in here. But what you're going to do is take your deep breath and then blow it really hard. And what is happening, then you're going to want to spin the crystal around and you're going to do it again. And what that's doing, remember we talked about the piezoelectricity that's coming out of this crystal. It's getting in with your inner biofield in your body. A lot of people call it your aura. You know, you have this aura that's all around you. And what that does, this amplifies, it amplifies the energy from the essential oil, and it's putting it in your biofield, your aura, all around you, so that your body is just surrounded. And when I do this, even right here, even though I'm not making it a sacred, truly sacred thing right this minute, I can just feel it. I can feel it. The love, you know, it has, oh God, rose, and it just, white angelica has a lot of good oils in it. Bergamot, it just creates a feeling like a mama's hug kind of thing. It's just, I love white angelica. I don't know, everybody uses oils, right? I mean, but and that's how you do that. And that just, when you breathe in, you're breathing in the air that's in your aura. Okay, so you always want your aura to be good. You want to keep the good around you. And when you do this, and if you can't use the oil on you, that helps put it in your aura so that you're breathing in the effects of the oil, and it takes it with you on an all day kind of thing, just like if you had put the oil on. Because when you walk from this room to that room, your aura is going with you. And so this is going to be in your sacred space. And then as you're breathing, you're going to continue to smell that. And even though you don't take the oil with you, it's going to go with you in your space, so that you are just constantly breathing in that beautiful oil all day. And I was thinking about it after I seen y'all last time. If you don't know how to use your crystal really quick, and you're just now getting it, something I do want to show you really quick. Hold your Vogel up And when you go in, this is just to teach you what kind of feeling you're kind of looking for in your body. You're going to bring that in counterclockwise until you can kind of feel it. And you can tell when it hits your space, okay? And then you want to twist it back clockwise. And once you twist it back clockwise, you're going to feel like a resistance. It's like a stop sign almost. It's saying, whoa, stop right there. And then when you get right there, you kind of want to go up and down with your crystal. And you can feel as that crystal goes up, the top of my fingers are tingling. As it goes down, the bottom of my fingers are tingling. And that's the feeling that you and your clients are going to get when you're working on their body. But the essential oils and the crystals are great for people that cannot use the essential oil. And I'm sure you could do it with your other crystals. I just love my Vogel, so I'd like to do it all things Vogel. But I do absolutely work with all of my crystals on other people, not just my Vogel. Only if somebody is truly, truly sick do I break my Vogel crystal out, because they don't understand the Vogel for one thing, and it's a lot of intention. And so if I break out a rose quartz or a green, a pink, something, they relate that to their chakras. So I work with a lot of crystals, but always try to and put your oils. When you're working with your crystals, they just work beautiful together, and they're beautiful things that God has gave us, or the universe has gave us. And thank you, Kathy, for letting me share with y'all today.
You are so very welcome. You are such a delight all the time. All the time. All the time. They're loving it. They're talking about oils and how much they love it and stuff like that on there. Ava is with us, Hope, and let's see, Carla. It's kind of flipping out on there, but thank you so very much. I really appreciate it, Dana. It's good. Give me a minute. I'm trying to get the little pin. There you go. There we go. And our last. So where do you get these beautiful creations, guys? Where do we go? You know, we were talking about that 2 weeks ago. Like you were like, well, where do you guys go and things like that. And you know, I used to own a little shop, so I'm a wholesaler. So a lot of people, when they get their license, they can go wholesaling and shopping and looking at the quarries around them and stuff like that. But Miss Carla, she got something special for you. Road trip to riches, right? For the crystals. So we're going to let Carla speak, and I'm going to put some of these links down on our chat so you guys get to have that opportunity. So let me remove this pen. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you for having me again, everybody. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. Everybody has such great energy, such great information. This is like top shelf stuff. I absolutely love it every time I'm on this show. So with that being said, I did some investigating, looking around and see where we can find these things. And it's amazing because you can find crystals pretty much anywhere. I mean, there's just I've been to powwows and I've been able to find crystals. I've been able to, like those gem shows, those kind of things, a bunch of different places where we're able to find those things. A lot of the things that I'm aware of too is that Michael's sells those kind of things as well. You know, Michael's is a really cool place to go because they have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But anyways, the thing that I like too is local street fairs. Local street fairs have a lot of good finds. Like I said, local gem stores. There's a Native American store that's locally here where I'm at in San Diego, and they have the coolest stuff there too. There is a place that is in LA. They're called the Alleys. I actually went there, and it's really amazing because they have gem stores there that have so much stuff in there, things I've never even really seen in other places. They're like little shells. I'm not sure of the names exactly, but they're super, super awesome. And there's just more things that you can learn about when you go to these stores that have a variety of so many different things. One thing that I do enjoy is I enjoyed going to Luna's store, her shop. One of the panelists here, Luna, has a store, and it's called Cosmic Delights. When I went on there, she has some really amazing things. She does online shopping as well. I know with COVID and everything going around, some places aren't doing online. They're not able to, you know, you can go in physically sometimes, some of them you can't, some of it's just strictly online. So it's all pretty much how people are doing business these days. There's a favorite of mine. Can you guys see me on video? Oh, you guys can see me on video. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, can I share stuff? So, okay, so this is one that I really like, a store that's locally here in San Diego. It's called Gumsan, and it's a young man. His family owns it. It's been like many moons. His grandmother owned a store in San Diego, downtown, Old Town area. And I purchased a lot of the things that he gets is from Kathmandu, Nepal. He does a lot of it. He goes down there and purchases a lot of things from the people down there to keep it, you know, to help the economy and stuff like that. So I purchased this amethyst from him, this necklace, which he set up for me. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I just love a lot of the items he has in his store. This one is from, I believe he said, anyways, good stuff, good stuff. And this is the Eye of God. This is this is also from Nepal. It's a beautiful crystal, and it's just truly amazing the way that the setup is. It's really gorgeous the way that they set these things up, and it's actually pretty heavy too. It's pretty good size, and a lot of the other things he has in there is it's stuff that he purchased in Nepal for people that are not able to, you know, just to help out around the world and those kind of things, and which is absolutely gorgeous. The other place that I did see, I looked at because everybody was talking about the Herkimer Diamond place in New York. And it's really amazing because I went on the website and I was like, holy cow. They have like camping, their stores. I mean, you can dig and get your own stuff. It's like super amazing. And I couldn't believe it because it's like, I know because of COVID and stuff, they're not reopening back until next year, April 15th, I think. But it's super like reasonable, the pricing. It's like $14 for an adult, like all day. You can just go and hang out and dig and do whatever you want to do. And I just really thought, how amazing is that? I mean, how earthy is that? I mean, to get down and do those things and just be able to just to get down with Mother Earth like that, and just to dig for those beautiful gems that she has. And I mean, just looking at the crystals, I know Kathy has one, and it's like amazing. It's like gorgeous. It's huge. So those are the things that I really think that everybody should take a road trip. Jay was talking about Sedona, those things in Sedona that are really awesome, super exciting. Another piece that I like is a favorite of mine is this selenite piece that I got from the Indian store. It's actually pretty big. I don't know. It's one of those days, people. I'm sorry. But this is the selenite piece that I got. Very beautiful piece. And I bought like 4 or 5, and I gave some to my kids, you know, so they can keep them in their house and stuff. But I mean, top shelf stuff. I love it. Absolutely love it. And there's another store that I normally go to is South American Imports. South American Imports is a store that is in Old Town, of course. I just found out about it last year. And that's where I purchased my alien head. I'm so proud of my alien head. He is Smoky Quartz. His name is Alan. Isn't he cute? He's like super sweet. I just absolutely love him. And he is extremely loving. The energy he has in him is very, I mean, it's like top shelf stuff. I mean, the stores that I go to, the stores that I've mentioned, a lot of them are absolutely lovely. And oh, I'm so sorry. That store, Kathy, is in, let me see here. That's in downtown San Diego. The website for that is, let me look for it. The website for the South American imports is www.saimport.com. So yeah, they got good stuff, lovely stuff. They're not doing online stuff right now. So if you're able to like be in, well, if you're in the San Diego area, Old Town area, man, I recommend you go in that store. They have I got this piece there too. This is like the most sharpest piece I've ever seen. I can't think of the name right now. Of course, it left me. Obsidian? Yes. And it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And then another form of selenite. I mean, you know, the little tower, the little sweet stuff. I love all that. So, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, where you go. I mean, he's got really beautiful pieces of amethyst right now. I mean, they always have very beautiful pieces. And then, of course, my favorite, my moldavite. That's my thing, man. That's my tractor beam thing. But anyways, you know what? It all depends on where you go and what you're looking for. Just Google in your town, Google in your area, and see where you have stuff. You know, there's plenty of things out there that we don't even know. I'm not sure, but even local little stores sell whatever you're looking for. But there's plenty of places to go to if you're planning on going on vacation somewhere. Most definitely just Google and see what they have in the area. You just never know. They may have stuff that you may not find anywhere else. So I hope that was informative. I bless you and I leave you with that. Thank you.
So very much. Yeah, when I went to North Dakota, I looked around and found some quarries, and I had a field day for a half a day just digging and digging and digging for stones and stuff. The Herkimer, I actually went to Herkimer and after a Reiki class and went down there and dug for Herkimers, and that's what you were talking about, digging. There's also a big place in Arizona that you could do for quartz, but the Herkimers, you actually like $17 to $20, and you buy buckets and just actually, these are little Herkimers inside this. This is raw. I took 4 buckets and I just piled them high and gave them some to my master students and things like that. They're great and they're beautiful. You could just stand outside while they do the crane and they just will pop off and you'll just pick up the Herkimers. And it took me 3 hours to realize that. I was digging. So it's great. It's fun. It's really fun. And yeah, and it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to take a road trip with friends and to just, you know, to have some fun. It's really fun. So I would definitely say Herkimer is very cheap. You would bring a lunch, your own lunch there, and eat at the table and just watch them fall in front of you. Take little fill bottles for the little baby ones, you know, and then just the bigger ones you just pick up. So it's definitely fun. Herkimer is for the one that don't want to really dig a lot. Like I think in Arizona you can dig a little bit more, you know, spend the whole day digging and stuff like that and shifting through and cleaning it up. So it's an awesome time. So I want to bring everybody else on here for I think I want to make sure that everybody else is doing okay for any of the questions. I think we'll answer your questions on the chat. We'll all come as panelists. We'll go down and try to answer everybody we can. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. It has been a great time. And I hope people that are in America having a great Thanksgiving weekend and they're taking care of themselves and maybe cuddling up to a beautiful glass of water and some stones around them and relaxing tonight would be a great little spa time for yourself and to gain connection with your beautifuls. You know, let them help you. They're like friends, you know. This is turquoise and this is, you know, it helps me talk, it helps me project, and it helps my immune system. So, You know, these guys are here for us to be harmonious and bring harmony to us and help build us and have a great relationship. So thank you everybody for joining us today, and we love you so much, and hopefully we'll see you back in 2 weeks. We'll tell you about the topics we don't know yet. But we're going to do one on the second Friday of the month. We'll do it at 10 a.m. And then the fourth Sunday of the month, we'll be doing it at 6 p.m., always Central Standard Time. And Carla will be going back into the workforce. So we're hoping that we can bring her on in the evening hours. We're not going to lose her. We're going to try to. We love her too much. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful time. And bye.